News, Taylor Taranto. Hi. So we left off with Nazis and all sorts of other Nazi fun stuff. So that I'm supposed to say, like, not so fun. Anyway, today I read that MSNBC is saying that Trump is no longer popular with white supremacists. I don't know where that came from, but I don't know if he was ever really popular with white supremacists to begin with. He's disavowed the likes of David Duke and all the other retard Nazis out there. Anyways, today I was watching the Olympics. We saw the first breakdance competition in the Olympics ever. I think this is really interesting, considering where did this come from out of nowhere. Refugee breakdancer B-Girl Talash, I guess they said, was disqualified from the first Olympics breakdancing competition for wearing a political free Afghan women cape. She fled from Taliban rule to Spain. Another interesting one, this is already like a highlight and made memes. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go watch it. I have not seen it. Right here, it's pretty interesting. The Australian B-Girl breakdancer, she's a lecturer in a university somewhere in Australia, I guess. And her performance was pretty interesting. She did not score a single point. I don't know, it wasn't described to me. It just became a sensation on the internet, so go check that out. JV Dance has been outed as a Magic the Gathering and Lord of the Rings nerd. That's interesting. Something about Star Trek, too. I think he's not a real Star Trek or Lord of the Rings kind of guy, because he's some sort of capitalist and these things take place in a post-capitalist world. But the thing is, I don't really think he's a capitalist. You know, there's these photos of him wearing a communist t-shirt floating around. We can all pretend it's a costume party, but I think he's outed himself as a lot of things, and working for Peter Thiel does not make you a capitalist. Just FYI, I don't care. I don't even think his story even makes sense. I think everyone has criticized the story to the point where it's like, do we even have to, how do we believe it? Do we believe that he's who he says he is, or do we just say, well, he's just making this story up? So, I mean, it's one or the other. It can't be both. Anyway, I'm going to tell a report story, a little news report story. So recently I was reached out to by the likes of Alicia Powe of the Gateway Pundit, WorldNet Daily, and other outlets. She wanted to know how I was doing and wanted to pray with me. She told me that Freedom Corner called her an STD for presumably giving Zachary Alam a voice on Gateway Pundit to speak wonderfully about his relationship with his guardian angel, he says, Ashley Babbitt, for taking a bullet for him after he smashed out the window she crawled through for her. So he smashed the window, she crawled out through it. And her life was ended according to everyone in the Nazi world order fake news that preaches to offering nothing new but rising questions. So, you know, all this does is offer nothing new, but it raises new questions. Sorry for the tongue-tie twisting here. And these questions now remain. So why would Freedom Corner call Jay Sixer worshiping Alicia Powe an STD? It's really weird. Dominic Box said, who's also wrote for the Gateway Pundit, said that she sends Jay Sixers photos of herself in unprofessional poses. And sure, she's wanted to have an interview with me, but only after getting to know me better. Something most professional journalists don't usually do to get a story, but instead just ask questions directly to get direct answers. Yes, that did happen, and I don't understand why she needs to have it her way so much. I mean, it's just weird. So, next question, why should anyone hate someone who posts articles supporting J6ers, especially the Freedom Corner here? Why? That just doesn't make much sense, especially if they're all there supporting assaulting all the J6ers except for me. And why did Alicia Powe call them an infection return? That's part of the interview I did with her, where she says she's mad that they're talking, and she calls them an infection. Those Freedom Corner people are an infection. So why did Alicia Powe give Zachary Alam a voice to write his own story supporting Ashley Babbitt after my co-host asked Alicia Powe to get my side of the story of being assaulted by J6ers who did it for Mickey Widoff, the person who supposedly put all this stuff together, the Freedom Corner. That's Ashley Babbitt's mom, yeah. I told her they assaulted me unprompted, unprovoked, and she, as so far, just wants to pray. She has not corrected the record. Will she ever correct the record? Or is this all some sort of stupid circle jerk to get me to tell her things that she'll never print running resistance for the deep state and the faggot Nazis? It's a really good question. Either way, I pray for her, and I hope that my listeners do too. She needs a lot of prayer right now, she says. Please pray for our country while our government is in a much-needed break from sending eugenist Nazis our money to Ukraine and Israel. If you see your representatives, be sure to give them a massage from all their incredibly hard labor that they've pulled for us. It is God's will that they are there. Just ask Speaker Mike Johnson, brave Republican, finally release some, but not all footage of J6, especially not the footage of FBI agent Jennifer Babbitt getting not shot, leaving us only with John Sullivan's footage of me telling people to listen to the police after this stupid scene. They haul her dumb body away, where she exposes her breast on national television on a stretcher. So anyways, I tell people to listen to police and to leave before being assaulted by police myself, and then blamed for Officer Smith's alleged suicide, putting me and my family through hell for 4 years. And that's not even half of it. Yes, let's say a prayer for all of them. They must certainly need it. Boy, howdy, I'm going to tell you something else. They're going to need all the prayer for when I'm